It's a topic that has a lot of people talking. Our oil and gas industry faces new pollution rules that could curb drilling. The EPA is weighing on labeling parts of the Permian Basin as violating federal air quality standards for ozone. It's called a non-attainment designation. This designation could force Texas regulators to crack down on air pollution, which could affect new permitting requirements and put drilling under even more scrutiny. That's our top story tonight. Thanks for being here. I'm Tatum Gwen. So this notice, not necessarily good news for our region, especially if it could impact our main economy driver. Today, oil industry leaders got together to talk about our air quality and what it means if it does not get better. Rachel Robinson takes the story from here.
Oil and gas is the bread and butter of the Permian Basin.
So the Permian Basin currently produces 43% of all crude oil in the United States and 15% of its natural gas.
But oil and gas production might be more restricted because of an EPA notice.
They're trying to say that the air quality in the Permian Basin doesn't meet a federal standard, and of course that's hard to believe since we don't have any air monitoring stations. But the idea is that there is a federal law called the Clean Air Act, and they're saying, the EPA is saying that the Permian Basin is not in compliant, even though there's no data to suggest that.
Local leaders said they've done their own measurements and ozone numbers are within means.
We have just recently done some monitoring all across the Permian Basin and are showing that our ozone levels are much below the current threshold that's required by the EPA.
If you are marginal, we have 3 years to it. It could mean more red tape for businesses and infrastructure.
For a quarter of a century at least, the EPA could have its thumb on business activity in the Permian Basin, on what kind of car you drive, on what type of businesses can operate. So it can be a very draconian crackdown on life and business in the Permian Basin if the worst case scenario emerges from this situation. So the implications are real.
It could impact whether we're able to build roads or whether we have to choose between drilling oil wells and building roads.
Now, local lawmakers and beyond are pushing back.
I've been in very close talks with Governor Abbott and his office since the EPA's initial announcement came down. The governor's fully engaged on this. Also, Congressman Pfluger is very active at the federal level. So we have all hands on deck in this situation.
Right now, things are up in the air, but industry leaders want to continue to produce oil and gas while also keeping the area around it clean and safe.
It is our opinion, and it has been our opinion for more than half a century, that the Permian Basin is a vital part of our energy portfolio in this country and in this world. And our members want to safely and responsibly develop these natural resources and are committed to environmental action to do so.
Rachel Robinson, News West 9.